You missed just last week? Uh-oh, we're going to do a lot of it today. Oh, and then Marcy, the only other thing is on the union, if you could mute the... You see that green still going? Mm-hmm. I know. Sometimes it has a mind of its own. Hi. For today, you want to do practice in the beginning and then we switch? Great. We'll do right at around like the halfway mark is when we'll do the pose itself, and then we can swap. The assists for today are, we actually took a picture of it. This is the last half, where did it go? So after baby bird, downward facing dog to clear, and then seated lord of the fishes, and then the supta pada A, pada C with the strap is a great place that you can give assists. The A is the one where you're on your back and the leg is straight, and you want to think really anchoring that lower leg down. So say
like the hip.
So, yeah, if you want to come over here, I can demo it on you. So you can keep your knee bent, straight, and then hands behind this leg straight. You want to check you're not tucking your joints, nor close to the knee, but pressure skin to muscles, muscle to joints, and then gently raising and adjustment. Yeah, so it's not pulling the skin. I'm just giving you an offer that it's not like fingertips. I'm using the palm of those here to press down, and then and that creates a little more space there. The other one that you used to do is the shape. Say with this leg, you can bring your elbow into your knee. You can bring your heel to their heel and tell them to push into you. And without a sock, I obviously slipping. Yeah. You want that leg to create some resistance. And then the last one to that is to put that leg bringing your hand and cusp the hands to your hands and just on the foot. And then wrap this massage down. You don't have to do it. These are just giving you the option. And then the last one is in twist. So say you drop it to your finger. You practice this. I did it on my dog. Yeah, good. It's the big squat. You do press it with hands. And then you wrap it in. Yeah. You want to think so? I like to start off with if you come up to down here, then it doesn't really get traction. You see how there's like a limb of your pelvis here? If you bring your hands up to your hands, yeah, here, and then you're wrapping this circle. And then the other one, if you can switch hands. The other one is if you really want to push first, you know, cover your leg or maybe too close, and also still in squat. Okay. With that forearm to the palms. One palm to the other wrist. The other side faces the leg instead. So do this. And then on the leg, you take a breath in the palms. And then exhale. And it's gentle pressure. You don't want to really much. So you're not pressing. Exactly. Yeah. And then if you come to stand and come into a squat, you can kind of see if you were to come here, it would be a little too much. Yeah, versus a little bit lower. Yeah. And then pull towards you like that. Yes. Like that. Good. Because it's less, yeah, it's less about pushing, but more of just like a gentle allowing space.
Right.
Yeah. Because they'll naturally do it. Everyone just like the fact, as you're walking around, they'll naturally come into the shape. So your work is giving us this, especially towards the end, is to just be, thinking skin to muscle, muscle to bone, so just enough pressure. Yeah. But to practice. The heel to heel one is the best one. Your heel, yeah, because that immediately gives them a lot of length. And it's very, very helpful.
And those assists are not like correction.
Yeah. If you want to get your hands on someone. But the correction assist would be heel to heel. Because people's legs usually turn in or out. So giving them something to press into would help them elongate.
And you don't turn it in or turn it out.
Usually it's flopped out. Because it's the leg that you're not paying attention to.
So when you put your heel to their heel, it encourages them to lift
And go longer. And you can also say, turn your toes up to the sky. Yeah, it's never just only a manual or only a verbal. It's often both at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense if you all did it as well.
Caroline's here. And Stephanie was here in the back corner. They're in teacher training this year.
In the red switch?
But waving.
Okay. They're touchable?
Yes. And Trisha should be coming, and Julia should be coming. There might be a few, and that's okay also. If you see any like foundational stuff. Hi, Maya. We'll start in a little bit, y'all, just waiting for people to come through the cold. But we will use almost all of the props. Definitely a strap today, therapy balls, blocks, and a blanket. We can bring those to you now or later on. But go ahead and come. Is it warmer for those that just came in or who've been here for a while? The heat was not on when I came, and I was like, crank it all the way up. Good? Okay, good. I know, very cute. Two, three, four. Oh, you found tissues. Thank you.
Yeah, I learned something new. They're in your bathroom. There's cabinets. And
Oh, great. Hi, how are you? You good there? Great. Yeah.
I was in California and I was hanging out with my sister-in-law and she was like, can you show me things in yoga? Because like my lower back was hurting a little bit. She kind of pointed out, I was like, no, I have that. So I showed that. And I just very little. She instinctively, she's like, it feels good when I do, like she knew
Sure.
what her body needed. I was like, okay, so if you do that like in the lunge, just make sure like your hips are pointing forward.
Did it help?
You can torque your back, and I was telling her that like to open her heart, she's going through a little bit of a rough time. So it's like to really like feel your shoulder blades bleeding.
Yay.
And she texted me, she was like, I'm keeping my toes pointing forward and hugging my shoulders, and it feels better.
Yay.
It's like,
It works. Yay.
that's just so nice.
Yeah. Hi, y'all. We made it. Cold. I looked at the calendar, and March 9th is daylight savings. So we're 3 weeks away. I know that doesn't mean that it's going to be warmer, but in my mind, that is when I decide that it ends. But I'm really happy you guys could come. The heat will be on throughout class. If it gets too hot, please tell me and I can turn the fans on or turn it down. Here to be comfortably toasted and not overheated. There's a few new faces, or it's been a while, to class. And if just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Anisha, and we have Marcy here with us each week. And the way that it looks is that Marcy will be practicing from the mat. I'll be walking around and teaching so that you guys can have a visual, people at home can have a visual. And if you have any yoga-related questions at all, please, please call either of us over. We're more than happy to help. So, let's see. February, one more week. One more week? Is next week the last week? And then it's March? Okay. And I rely on you for my pop culture related news and calendar related news, because little do I look at the calendar itself. But the whole month of February, we've been working towards a series of different arm balances. So first week, we worked towards one that looked a little bit like triangle. Last week was the big twists. And today will be an arm balance with a back bend on top of it. I'll tell you what it is going out, because there's a few of you who are in teacher training this weekend where we co-created this sequence together based on this pose. And this is the pose that we'll be working on, including the sequence that we all crafted together. So the pose, in Sanskrit, it's called Kapinjalasana. And in English, it translates to baby bird, which you might see and experience when we're in the pose itself. It's like a tiny bird trying to hold on to a ledge. And we are the tiny birds trying to hold on to the floor. So we'll see where it goes. But arm balances and backward bends are really the body's way of experiencing the heart in and out in the world around us. It's the way in which you get to experience how your hands, how parts of your body begin to experience things outside of yourself. And when we move in towards backward bends, it's a big space and time to create space through the chest itself. So we'll see where it goes. Take breaks, sip water, modify, rest, take anything and anything that you need. And we'll start today in a comfortable seat. Any requests before we go there? Anything that you desire? Body parts, poses, things that need some attention in the cold? Yeah, lower back. The beauty and downfall that you might know of low back requests is that it's not only hip openers and thigh stretches, but it's also core work. So we'll do some core work. Some people like it, and sometimes it needs to be whispered, but we'll do it all. Anything else? Everyone okay? As okay as can be? Great. I'm happy you're here. Let's start together in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You might start lying down. You might be cross-legged. You might be up on your knees. If you are seated, perhaps you sit up on some propping, a blanket or a block, so your hips can naturally be higher than your knees. And as your hands fall anywhere they may fall, in your lap, on your thighs or alongside of you, let your eyes close or soften to listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, we turn towards that darkness, that expansive, generative, cooling darkness, where you begin to see every aspect of yourself. And as you slowly become more familiar with the dark, perhaps you begin to see flashes of light, or spots of color, or any familiar forms or shapes that have appeared throughout your day. And through the darkness, can you listen for the thread of your breath, that part of you that connects every aspect of yourself together? A moment to notice, without changing or altering, just where your breath likes to be in your body. For some of us in the cold, it stays more in the front of your body, higher up in your chest. And the more you notice your breath, can you see how it naturally begins to deepen? Each inhale moves from your nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very top of your head, creating more space for more breath. With your head above your heart above your hips, continue with a few more breaths on your own. Each inhale moving in, down, and wide. And each exhale offering itself up and out in every direction. Our time together will start with 3 more rounds of that same breath. Take a moment to place your hands to center where that feels for you, perhaps somewhere on your body or in front of your heart. But wait for your next inhale as it fills you up completely. And exhale to let that breath go. Take 2 more rounds on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that comes when you listen for and really remember your breath. Now, keeping that attention inward as best as you can, gently release your hands, blink your eyes open, and let's stay seated. Hi, welcome. Let's stay seated for another moment longer to take a few rounds of pranayama, of some breath work. So if your ankles are crossed, you might switch which ankle is on top to mix it up. Do sit up on some propping if you're not already, a blanket or a block. And for Kapalbhati, that breath of fire, you'll bring your hands to your thighs. Also asterisks if you need them. There's a tissue box right here, and there's some outside. There's also sleeves. But it'll start off by taking a breath in through the nose, a long exhale out. Inhale halfway, and with your lips closed, the exhales will sound like this. You'll move your belly back towards your spine as you keep the spine tall. And I'll count us off for a few rounds of breath. We'll do it in 3 cycles, and then we'll start to move with the breath. So let your hands rest somewhere on your body, let your spine grow tall, and take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose as the crown of your head grows taller to the sky. Now lips closed, inhale halfway, and begin on your own. Continue following your pace more than my voice. You might go at this rate, you might go slower or faster, but can you feel the fingertips be soft in your lap, the spine continue to grow tall, and feel the belly moving back towards your spine? We'll be here for 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. With the lips closed, take a breath in through the nose. Sip in more at the top, and exhale through the nose as the crown of your head grows taller to the sky. Take another round. Send the breath in, down, and wide. And exhale to offer the breath up and out. That's it for the second round out of 3. You can stay still or perhaps add some gentle movement in the torso. It'll look like this. The hands will come to the tops of your shoulders. You'll breathe in, and every exhale, you'll slowly rotate to one side, clearing and moving energy up through the body. If you see this version and you'd rather stay still, I really invite you to do exactly what you just did, but follow your pace more than my voice. For those that are moving with the torso, bring your hands to the tops of your shoulders. Everyone grow tall through the spine. Take a breath in through the nose. Exhale all the way out through the nose again. Now inhale halfway and begin on your own. Again, continue at this pace, slower or faster. But can you let the spine grow taller to the sky? If your elbows are lifted, let the elbows be in line with the shoulders. Let the jaw be soft. Feel your tongue heavy in the roof of your mouth. Continue for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw yourself to stillness. Take a deep breath in. Everyone reach your arms up overhead. Sniff in more at the top. Exhale to reach your fingertips all the way up to the sky as you soften the shoulders. Slowly release your hands down onto your legs. Take a big breath in. Fill your belly. Fill the back of your heart. And exhale through the nose to let all of that breath go. One more round in sets of 3. Just to mix it up, if your shins are crossed, switch the ankles one more time. And now you can do any of the rounds that we've done, staying still, moving through the torso, or this time, releasing the arms from side to side. So it sounds like this. Inhale through the nose, exhale out. As you inhale halfway, and we'll continue at your pace. Take breaks, catch your own breath, follow along as you'd like. But if you're coming into that version, extending the arms, bring your hands to the tops of your shoulders. Last round. Everyone grow tall as you take a deep breath in. Exhale all of that breath out. Inhale halfway and begin your exhales. Feel the belly move back towards your spine. Let the spine stay growing tall. If you're twisting, really twist from the trunk. And as you keep the eyes soft, be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw yourself back through center. Everyone reach your arms up. Big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Stretch up through the fingertips as you let all of that breath out. Take one more breath. Breathe into your belly, into your chest. Reach up. And on your exhale, let your hands fall down by your sides. Come on forward to tabletop. Let's start linking breath and movement together. There's a moment when I do that. I know why I'm doing it, but when we're all doing it together, I'm like, is this close to a cult that we're getting to? We're not, I promise. I don't accept if we are. But that breath of fire is a great one to start in the beginning. We'll do it one more time as we practice to really build that internal heat and to feel the deep muscles of your core begin to work. So on all fours, hands nice and wide, index fingers point straight ahead. Begin to round and arch your spine, moving with your breath through a few rounds of cat and cow. Let's take 5 cycles of breath on your own. Take this time to really link your breath and movement together. Meaning if it feels sweet or supportive to stay more rounded or arched for a few extra cycles, please feel free to do so. Perhaps it feels needed to move more forward and back, your hips towards your heels and your shoulders forward of the wrists. But really take this time to move in a way to see what it is your body desires, what gentle movements, what stillness, and what breath can you create to find more space within your being. After your next breath, come back to table, find your neutral spine. Watch for your friends and your props behind you as we come in for a calf stretch. Keep your hands and shoulders where they are. Reach the right leg back, tuck the toes under, and reach through your right heel to see what you feel in the back of the right leg. As that heel goes back, can you think crown of your head forward towards the front of the room? Take a deep breath in. Exhale to let all of that breath go. And then switch sides. Bend your right knee, stretch back through the left. With the left toes on the floor, reach through your left heel. And think very top of your head forward towards the front of your mat. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out in every direction. Come back to table, find your neutral spine. Walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Bring your knees back behind your hips. And as you tuck all 10 of your toes under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time and as many breaths as you'd like to find your way there. In any of your down dogs throughout class, maybe it's stillness that your body desires. Perhaps it's gentle movement as you pedal your heels one at a time from side to side. Or you might soften and straighten both knees simultaneously. But anywhere you go, can you offer it to your breath? A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. The bottom of your exhale, lift your heels. Tiny bend in your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your first forward fold of class. I always love to have blocks underneath my hands so the floor really meets me where I am, especially when it's colder. The backs of the legs feel different. You might even widen your feet an inch or two, or soften your knees so your fingertips touch the ground or blocks out in front of you. This will give your low back lots of extra space. But let your head be heavy, even gently nod your head yes, or slowly nod your head no, and just feel the weight of gravity as you let the crown of your head soften to the earth. After a few breaths here, climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and inhale to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands by your sides. With your feet right underneath your hips, toes pointing ahead, take an inhale, reach the arms forward and up. And as you exhale, soften your knees, hinge at your hips, and fold over your legs. Inhale to lengthen halfway, hands to shins or blocks, reach the chest forward. And exhale to step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. In this plank pose, maybe the knees are up, perhaps they're down, but can you bring your hands as wide as your mat? I know some of us have longer mats than the others, but see if you can just take up a little extra space. Now, as you feel your hands on the ground, without moving them, hug your arms towards each other from side to side. Feel the forearms and the biceps engage. Now, hug your legs together from side to side, as if the legs could become one pillar. Slide your ears back so your head is in line with your heart. Take a big breath in, and exhale to bend your elbows to lower all the way down onto your belly. With those hands nice and wide, inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra. Hug the shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. This breath flows first in the direction of your heart. And not just that heart to the left of center that's beating, but that very spiritual heart, the one that exists in the center of your being. The heart slowly awakens and illuminates the mind, and the mind inspires the full depth and agency of your body. So as you take another breath in, hug your palms towards each other from side to side. On your exhale, push your arms down and forward to lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. At the bottom of your breath, lift the heels, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, your standing forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, reach the heart long towards the top of your mat, and exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Use your own fists and measure your feet 2 fist width distances apart. That's about hip width. With your toes pointing straight ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back as you climb your palms up onto your thighs for this round of chair pose. All right, last round of that breath of fire. Think hips to the back of your mat as you lift your heart up to the sky. You can keep the natural cadence of your breath, or as we did seated, take a breath in through the nose, lips closed, exhale through the nose, all of the breath. Inhale halfway and begin. That's it. Keep pumping the belly button back towards your spine. Soften the shoulders away from your ears. Soften the grip of your fingertips around your thighs. And as you sit your hips lower to the earth, push into the legs to lift up through the heart. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay seated as you take a deep breath in. Sit a little lower as you exhale all of that breath out. And now inhale to stand through the legs, reach the arms up, a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands down center into Anjali Mudra or on your chest itself. Soften or close your eyes for a moment. This breath of fire, also called that skull shining breath, where heat rises to illuminate space behind the eyelids. So take a moment to notice what it is that you feel. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now on your next inhale, reach the arms forward and up to the sky. Get tall. As you exhale, fold and bow in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor and climb your right forearm onto your right thigh, left hand to your hip for extended side angle, facing the long edge of your mat. That's it. Check to see that the right knee and the toes are pointing straight ahead towards the front of the room. And now as you inhale, hug your thighs towards each other from front to back. Feel those inner thighs engage. Shrug your left shoulder up and back. Shrug your right shoulder up and back as you slide the ears back. Stay here. Maybe the right arm or the left arm reaches to the ceiling. Maybe it reaches overhead towards the front of the room. But with each inhale, hug the feet towards each other from front to back. And then slide the shoulders back, the ears back to lean back against yourself. Keep the legs where they are. Stretch back through the left arm. Inhale to rise, warrior two. Stay for the exhale. Bend 2 more inches into that front thigh. And now press the right leg straight. Take a big breath in. Get long in every direction. And for triangle pose, right hand to your block or to the floor on the outside of the right leg for today. We'll be doing these series of poses a few times. So as you feel the right hand touch something solid, remember your feet underneath you. Really hug your feet, your legs towards each other. As you pull the right foot back and the left foot forward, press down into that right hand and reach the left arm 1 more inch to touch the ceiling. Can you slide the ears back to lean back against yourself? A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now on your inhale, unwind, look down to the ground, bend your right knee, step the left foot forward to meet your right, to come back into your standing forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, think heart long to the front of the room. And exhale to fold, bowing in. With your feet 2 fists width apart, 1 more time. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, maybe hands to thighs or arms up overhead. We're not doing that breath of fire again, we're just taking a few breaths here. But listen for the sound of your breath. Take a full breath in, down, and wide. As you exhale, can your hips get heavier to the back of your mat? Guide your knees open towards those second toes and look away from the ground. On your inhale, stand through the legs, reach up, get taller than you were. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor. Left forearm, climb it up onto your left thigh, and right hand to your hip for extended side angle. That's it. Imagine like you had 4 or 5 blocks in between the right and left leg, and you don't want them to drop. Can you hug your feet towards each other? Feel the inner thighs engage. And now shrug your right shoulder up and back, the left shoulder up and back. Stay here, or maybe reach that right arm up to the sky or overhead towards the front of the room. But take a full breath in, hug your legs towards each other. Stay for the exhale, bend into that front thigh as you guide your left knee open towards those pinky toes. And now on your inhale, reach back through the right arm. Inhale to rise for warrior two. Stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front thigh. Now press the left leg straight, reach out through the fingertips, a full breath in, and exhale to Trikonasana, left hand to your block or to the floor on the outside of that left leg for today. As the left hand taps something solid, remember your feet underneath you. And the more you hug your feet towards each other, not only will this help us move into the pose we're moving to, it creates more stability in the shape itself, so you can extend. So as you hug your feet towards each other from front to back, press down into that bottom hand and reach the right arm 1 more inch to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Stay for the exhale. Can you slide the shoulders back, the ears back to lean back against yourself? On your next inhale, unwind. Lower your hands down to the floor, bend your left knee, and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels 1 at a time from side to side, and notice what a difference can make. On your next inhale, come forward to plank pose, the top of your push-up. As you exhale, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for the breath in to rise, Cobra Bhujangasana. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and lower your back knee down onto the floor or a blanket. We'll come in for the first of the thigh stretches. So once the back knee is down, bring your hands high up onto fingertips. I like to be up on blocks underneath those hands. But as you lift up through the heart, hug your legs together, meaning pull your right heel back, hug your left thigh forward, and now bend your left knee to lift your left toes up off of the floor. You can be here and stay, breathing into that left thigh. Or with your right hand down on the block or on the ground, left hand can reach around for your left foot. That's it. You might have a strap. You might hold the leg of your pants. But as you find somewhere on the leg, slide those bottom ribs back. Really breathe into the middle of your back. Shrug the left shoulder up and back. And as you look away from the ground, maybe your right hand stays on the block or on the floor. Perhaps it climbs up onto your right thigh to play with some balance. Or maybe your right hand comes to the front of your chest. But take a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. See if you can look away from the floor, lift up through your heart, and bend one more inch into that right leg. On your inhale, release the hold of that foot with care. Plant your palms and take it back to downward facing dog. Notice any difference you see from side to side. And from your down dog with your hands as wide as your mat, inhale through to plank pose. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your breath to rise, Cobra. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. And exhale to make your way back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, no rush. Let the left leg lift up and back. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand for that lizard lunge variation. Lower the right knee down onto the floor or blanket, and just check to see that your right knee isn't directly under your hip. If it is, you might walk it back another inch or two. Now, the higher up your hands are on blocks, the more access you might find to holding onto the foot, but squeeze your legs together. Lift up through the chest, and now bend your right knee to lift your right toes up off the floor. Stay right here breathing. Or perhaps with your left hand to the inside of your left foot, your right hand reaches around to hold the right toes. Think top of your right thigh back towards the right tush. Shrug your right shoulder up and back. And as you look away from the ground, maybe the left hand stays, perhaps it climbs up onto the thigh, or comes up to your chest, but take a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale, look away from the floor, and maybe bend one more inch into that front leg. On your next inhale, release the hold of that right leg. Plant your palms. Take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time, and notice what you see and feel. From your down dog, on an inhale, come forward to plank pose. And exhale to lower fully down onto your belly. Before we lift up into locust, reach your arms alongside of you. Flip your palms down to face the floor. And feel your legs back in space behind you. And without moving them, can you energetically hug your legs towards each other like you did in that first plank so they could become one pillar? Now shrug both shoulders to the ears. Hug the shoulder blades together. As you inhale, lift your head. Lift your chest, float your arms up off the earth, and exhale to lift your legs up and away from the ground. As you lift everything but your hips, close or soften your eyes and really listen for your breath. Steph, can I give you a little assist here? Think inner thighs towards each other and inseams of your pants up towards the ceiling. As you hug the shoulder blades together, lift your palms one more inch. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, release, lower all the way down to the earth. You might make a pillow with your hands, rest on your forehead or on one of your cheeks. Perhaps you stay still or wiggle your tush from side to side, but really breathe full and steady into your belly. Okay, for one more round, last round of locust. Stay down on the earth and reach your arms alongside of you. Same variation, just see what feels different. So as you hug your inner thighs towards one another from right to left, think shoulders to the ears and squeeze the shoulder blades together. On an inhale, wait for the breath, lift your head, lift your chest, float your arms up off the earth, and exhale to let your legs lift up and away from the ground. As you lift everything but your hips, let the eyes soften, let the jaw soften, and can you listen for the sound of your own breath as you take flight? Think inner thighs towards each other from side to side, inseams of your pants towards the ceiling. And now hug the shoulder blades together, lift your palms one more inch, even wiggle them just for fun. Take a big breath in and exhale to release, lower all the way down. Rest, other palm, other cheek. Close or soften your eyes And really feel the full depth of your breath in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. Okay, after a few breaths here, bring your hands to either side of your chest. Press yourself up through to tabletop. Come up to your hands and your knees. And from table, you can sit back onto your heels, shake it out, sip some water, take a breath. Is 400 rounds of breath of fire getting anyone warm? Sorry. We don't do it in the summer, if that's helpful. We do cooling breath. But when it's -1 degrees outside, something's got to churn from in here. So does everyone have a strap if you need one? You can find your strap now, unravel it like a big jump rope, place it off to the right side of your mat. And we'll come in for a shoulder stretch. So from tabletop, bring your legs, your feet, as close as you can bring them together. And now tuck all 10 of your toes under. Does anyone need a strap? Okay, so come into tabletop, onto all fours. Walk and look at your legs, see if you can bring them all the way together. Thighs, knees, feet, shins to touch. Tuck all 10 of your toes under and begin to sit your tush back onto your heels to feel this version of thunderbolt pose, Vajrasana. That's it. With the toes curled, you might be here. This might be more than enough sensation to alleviate. You can bring a block like Marcy's demoing between tush and heel. You can also stand on your knees, but find your strap in your right hand like a big jump rope. Reach your right arm all the way up to the sky, holding the strap. Now bend your right elbow, give yourself a pat on the back. Reach your left arm off to the side, turn your left thumb to face the floor. And as the left elbow bends, you might grab the dangly edge of your strap behind you. Nor in this lifetime or my next lifetime will my hands ever get close towards each other. If yours do, great. But the idea is we're thinking actions in this shape rather than the hands reaching for each other. So you might explore drawing the right elbow more towards your right ear and then sliding your left elbow more towards the middle of your spine. And as you create some resistance, try to tug your strap or fingers apart and then press your head back to lift your chin. Slide the ribs back. As you press your head back, take a big breath in and a longer breath out. Good. Slowly unravel your arms. Come back forward to tabletop, shake out your feet or roll out your ankles. A moment to reset. And now this time, similar but different, with your legs as close as you can bring them together, point your feet back behind you and press all 10 of your toes into the ground. Now squeeze your heels together as you sit your tush back onto your heels for this version of hero's pose, Virasana. Find the strap in your left hand, reach the left arm all the way up to the sky, take a big breath in, and as you exhale, bend your left elbow to pat yourself on the upper back. As you let the right arm reach off to the side, turn your right thumb to face the floor. Bend your right elbow, grab the other dangly edge behind you. And I know for me, there's one side that feels bionically different than the other side because I only use my right hand for anything. The left hand barely exists. So you might notice a difference from side to side, but it's those actions we're trying for. Wrap the left elbow towards your ear, like you're holding a cell phone between your arm and ear. Slide your right elbow to the middle of your spine, meaning more to the left. And now with some resistance, gently tug your strap apart and press your head back just to lift your chin. Slide the ribs back as you press the head back. A big breath in, a longer exhale out. And now inhale to unravel and release your arms. Ditch the strap, we'll use it later. Come forward to tabletop and take the time that you need to make your way back to downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. A breath or two in your down dog. Notice what you see and feel. A longer breath in and a deeper breath out. From your down dog, lift the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. And on your next inhale, come up to rise for high lunge. Reach your arms, your chest, and your torso to the sky. That's it. Feel free to heel toe the right foot as much as you need over to the right so your feet are less on a balance beam. But as that left heel lifts up off the floor, lift your left thigh to the sky. Stretch up through the fingertips. See if you can look away from the ground and bend 1 more inch into that front leg. We'll add a side stretch here. So let your right hand grab your left wrist, grow 1 inch taller to the sky, sorry, the other side. Grab your right wrist. That didn't feel right. Grow 1 inch taller to the sky and tip up and over. Oh, this is wrong too. The first side was right. I'm so sorry. I'm looking here and I'm leaving. Like, is this right? Is this left? You're tipping to the right. Everyone did it right the first time. We're just here for a second. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. Slide the ribs back to steady your low back. And now inhale, it's over. Come up through center. Hands come to your hips. And all the hops you need to come up to stand. Spring off your left foot. Scoop your left thigh to your chest. Grow 1 inch taller through the top of your head. And now lower the left foot down. Feel both feet on the ground. Bend your knees. Sit your hips back. Lean into your left foot. Lift your right heel. For standing figure 4, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Okay, think hinge from your hips like chair pose. Sit your tush back to the back of your mat as you lift your heart up. Now take a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. See if you can look away from the ground as your hips get heavier to the earth. On your inhale, come all the way up to rise. Lower the right foot down, reach the arms up, get taller than you've been, and exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat, walk your feet to the back of your mat to take it back to down dog. Before we go to the second side, one more thing to try out. So this time, look at your left hand. Bring your left hand as wide as the left edge of your mat, and let your left thumb face more forward towards the front of the room. Now pivot both heels to the left, turn all 10 toes to the right, and step your right foot halfway forward in between your hand and foot. So bring your right foot halfway to the middle of your mat as you bend your right knee. That's it. Climb your right hand onto your right hip. Push down through your feet, lift your hips higher to the sky like you did in crescent. And the higher you lift your hips, slide the ears back to lean back. Stay here breathing. You might reach the left arm to the ceiling. It might reach overhead towards the front of the room, the right arm. But take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale as you offer that breath out. And then inhale to unwind. Lower your hands to the ground. Step the right foot back to meet your left to take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels. Notice what you feel. And now last side, I'll get the crescent right on the second side. Lift the left leg to the sky. Step it through to catch your lunge. Wait for your inhale to come up to rise for high lunge. Reach the arms, the chest, and the torso to the sky. Feel free to walk the left foot as much as you need over to the left. And as you reach up through the fingertips, even look away from the ground, bend 1 more inch into that front thigh. Now let your left hand grab your right wrist. Grow 1 inch taller, and slow and steady like you're going over a beach ball, tip up and over to the left-hand side. Slide the ribs back to breathe into the middle of your back. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. And as you tip to the left, take a breath in. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to come all the way up through center. Hands come to your hips. All the hops you need to spring off your right foot. Scoop your right thigh to your chest. Grow 1 inch taller up through the top of your head. And now lower the right foot down. Bend your knees. Sit your hips back. Lean all of your weight into your right leg. Lift your left heel. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh for standing figure 4. Your hands can stay on your hips. They might come out in front of your heart or up overhead. But as you flex the left foot, take a full breath in and a longer breath out through every direction of you. Next inhale, come all the way up to rise. Lower both feet to the ground. Reach the arms up. Take a breath in. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk those feet all the way back to the back of your mat to take it to down dog. And now peek at that right hand. Let your right hand come as wide as the right side of your mat and turn your right thumb to face more to the front of the room. Pivot your heels to the right, all 10 toes to the left, and now step your top foot halfway forward in between your hand and leg. Think hips higher to the ceiling. And now the higher your hips lift, perhaps that left hand stays on the ground. Maybe it comes to your hip. Maybe the left arm reaches to the ceiling or overhead towards the front of the room. But push down through your feet to lift your hips. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, slide the ears back to lean back. On your next inhale, unwind, lower the palms to the ground, step back through the left foot to take it to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels and notice what you feel and see. Now your choice, you can stay right here and breathe. You might lower your knees to the ground and take a few breaths closer to gravity. Or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. Anywhere you choose to go, staying still or moving, can you offer it to your breath? Deeper inhales in, and long, clear, steady breaths out through every direction of you. That's it. Let your next few breaths bring you back to down dog just for a moment. And from your downward facing dog, lift your heels, soften your knees, walk your feet to the middle of your mat, walk your hands to the middle of your mat to meet yourself somewhere in the middle. As you inhale, lengthen halfway, grow longer through your spine. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a breath in to rise, stand through your legs, reach up, get taller than you've been before. And exhale to let your hands come down by your sides. Warmer-ish. I see slowly individual layers are getting peeled, so getting comfortably toasted. I'd love to roll out the feet for a moment, and then we'll start to go to where we're going. Not start to, we will get to where we're going. We've been going. So if you have some therapy balls, find them and take one of them out of their tote. I'm going to do this one with you, Marcy, selfishly. We can do it together. So you can take one of them out of their tote. Does anyone need some? Okay, bring it onto the floor, somewhere in the middle of your mat. And now bring your right foot onto the therapy ball. Good. Your hands can shake out by your sides as you lift your chest up. And now with the therapy ball on the right foot, begin to move your right foot forward and back from your heel to the arch of the foot. That's it. My left knee always locks, so a tiny bend in the left knee. And then the fun thing that happens, it's not a technical term, but when you're rolling out the foot, my hands turn into T-Rex claws. Try to shake those out, lift up through the chest, and breathe full and steady. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now the next time you come to the arch of your foot, the very middle, keep the therapy ball there and juice the orange. Begin to move the foot from right to left. And you really get to dictate how much pressure you'd like. You might lean more into it or off of it, but shake the arms, lift the chest, take a big breath in, and exhale out through your nose or mouth. Now draw the right foot back through center. This time, bring your right heel onto your sticky mat and curl just your right toes up the therapy ball. See if you can spread the toes as wide as you can spread them. And now press the toes down into the therapy ball as if they're the only thing holding it there. Take a breath, shake your arms, lift your chest up, and exhale out through your nose or mouth. Press the toes down into the therapy ball. This may be more than enough. I feel the webbing of my feet. If you want to feel something different, perhaps you step your left foot forward of your right, bend into your left knee, even lean forward as you keep your right heel on the ground and press the right toes into the therapy ball. A deeper breath in, a longer breath out. And then slowly back it up. Release your foot off the therapy ball, shake it out, roll it out, even lean from one foot to the other to see what a difference feels like. Second side. Therapy ball under the left foot. Start to go forward and back. It's one of those where I can't just demo one side, otherwise I feel like I'd walk one side way longer. So I'll do this one with you, and then we'll continue. So continue to go forward and back from the heel to the arch. Soften your knees, shake out your arms, lift up through the chest. Breathe. And then as you come to the arch of that left foot, squeeze the orange. Move the foot from right to left. Again, with as much or as little pressure as you'd like. A breath in and a breath out. I know some of you have heard me talk about this all the time. If you have already, I'm sorry, but Adriana and I are obsessed with the foot spa on 11th and Washington. You give me one nugget to talk about it, and I will talk to you about it for 3 days. But if you haven't been there, it's in the same parking lot as Pho 75, and it's 30-minute from knees down for $35. They just slug you with Vaseline. It's intense, but I think it really helps. And they always bring the foot through center, lower the left heel to the floor, curl the toes up the therapy ball, spread them wide, and try to press the toes down into the therapy ball. Shake out your arms, lift up through the chest, and breathe. And what's very sweet is where we're seated when we get foot massages, there's a picture of a foot of a map that has smiley faces on the toes. Have you ever seen any of these before? It's not phrenology, it's reflexology. I don't know why it's so hard to remember. But each part of your foot is corresponded to a different part of your body and being. So when you give the bottom of the foot some attention, you might notice it in different regions. So if you'd like, perhaps you step the right foot forward, bend your right knee, lean forward as the left heel stays down, and you press the toes into the therapy ball. Take a deep breath in. Stay for the exhale, shake out the arms, shake out the jaw, and then step it all the way back through center. Release the therapy ball to the side. We'll use it later. Come to stand at the top of your mat. Take an inhale, reach the arms forward and up to get tall. As you exhale, soften your knees, hinge at your hips, and fold over your legs. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Feel the memory of the therapy balls where your feet were. And exhale to fold, bowing in. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk those feet all the way back to the back of your mat to bring it back to down dog. On your inhale from down dog, lift the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor, and for extended side angle revisited, right forearm to the top of your right thigh, perhaps left hand to your hip, up to the sky or overhead. But a full breath in, hug the feet towards each other. As you exhale, imagine like you could press your legs down and apart as you stretch the crown of your head forward towards the front of the room. Now reach back through the left arm. Inhale to rise for warrior two. Stay for the exhale and bend 2 more inches into that front thigh. Press the right leg straight. Take a breath, get long. Trikonasana, right hand to your block on the outside of that right leg for triangle pose. We were here a while ago before rolling out the feet, so just take a moment to notice what you see and feel. As you inhale, hug the feet towards each other. Slide the shoulders and the ears back. Lean back against yourself. And now to add on, half moon, bring your left hand to your left hip, look down to the floor. Begin to heel toe your back foot towards the top of your mat. And now reach your right hand way far forward with the block and slightly off to the right. As you lean into your block, lift your left leg up off the ground. And now notice if your left leg, is it trying to swing back behind you to your friend behind? Let your left leg reach more forward towards the flat wall side of the room. Now lift your left inner thigh 1 more inch. Stay here, or you might bend your left knee as if you could kick your own tush with your left heel. Perhaps the left hand stays on your hip, or your right hand reaches around. Left hand reaches around to hold on to the pinky side edge of the left foot. Press your thigh forward towards the front of your mat and kick your foot back into your hand and let that turn your chest open to the sky. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale to long limbs. Release the arm, release the leg. Soften the right knee to step the left foot back to lunge. Plant your palms and take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Nice. How'd that go? Just threw the spaghetti at the wall. Huh? I heard you breathing. I said this last week, even if it was hyperventilating breathing, there was some breath in there. So can you lower your knees for a moment? Sit back, shake it out. I want to show you one thing, because right after this, we're moving towards the pose that I promised. And there's one small, for lack of a better word, yoga hack that helps let this pose be from, I'm going to fall over, I'm hurting in the hip, to, okay, I kind of know where my body is in space. And it's really all about the back leg. So the best way to see it, I'm going to borrow this block, is checking out the back foot. So we were in extended side angle, we were in triangle pose, and the legs didn't change. Yeah, they stayed exactly the same. But what happens when your back foot comes off of the floor, it tends to, well, mine tends to have a mind of its own, especially when I can't see it. It does these things. It swings back, which means this heel turns out, which means I feel a little cramping in my tush, which doesn't always feel sustainable. So my proposition is keeping this heel and toes pointing ahead, bless you, Let this top leg reach more forward towards your friend in front of you. And then from there, you lift the inner thigh. So when you bend your knee, maybe your hand stays reaching back, maybe it holds the foot. It's not that the whole leg is throwing you off kilter by pulling it back. You're trying to press this thigh forward, kick your foot back into your hand, and let that action revolve your chest open to the sky, because it's a big back bend on top of a standing pose. Does seeing that help? The back leg, think this time this way, towards the wall.
So you don't want your hips like turning in.
They're the same as they are in Warrior 2 and Triangle. And yes, extended side angle. So here would be Warrior 3 or Pyramid. So they're not necessarily stacked one on top of the other because not all hips go that way, but we're trying to have them face that direction. Yeah, great question. Let's try the second side. Down dog. Hips to the sky. Thank you. Pedal the heels and a breath or two to notice. Now from your down dog, lift the left leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor and climb your left forearm to the top of your left thigh, extended side angle. As your right hand reaches onto your hip, to the ceiling or overhead, feel your legs. Energetically hug your thighs towards each other. Now hug the shoulder blades together as you slide the ears back. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale, bend 1 more inch into that front thigh. On your next breath, reach the right arm towards the back of the room. Inhale to rise, Warrior 2. Stay for your exhale, bend into the front leg. Press the left leg straight. Take a breath, get long in every direction. And for triangle pose, left hand to your block or the floor on the outside of that left leg. And just notice your feet here, and none of them shifted from your extended side angle to triangle. As you feel your feet on the ground, energetically hug your legs together. Now push down into that bottom hand, reach the top arm up to the sky. For Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, bring your right hand to your right hip. Look down to the floor, see where you're going. And as you slowly heel toe that right foot towards the front of your mat, walk your left hand way far forward onto the floorboards and slightly off to the left. Lean into your block to lift your right leg up off the ground. And now notice if the right leg is swinging back behind you, let it move more to the right. Flex the right foot, try to straighten the right knee. Breathe here. Perhaps you bend your right knee, kick your right tush with your right heel. And then maybe your right hand reaches back for the right foot. As your right hand reaches back, take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale, push your foot back into your hand to let your chest turn open to the sky. And then on your next inhalation, release arm and leg, soften your left knee to step the right foot back. Step the left foot back to take it back to downward facing dog. Nice. Yay, less hyperventilating, more ocean breeze coming on. So hopefully the leg trick helped. But from your down dog, last time together, stay here. Lower your knees down or let your breath take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out in every direction of you. And as your next few breaths, let you stay in stillness or find some movement. Take another long breath in and a clear, steady breath out through every direction. Okay, now lower your knees to the floor. Sit back onto your heels, sip some water, and take a breath or two. We've made it. We're going to do it twice on the right, twice on the left, and then after this, we are lying down and not getting back up until it's time to go. So, if you have a strap, while I'm showing you where we're going, you might make your strap into a big loop. Some of them come looped, some of them are free like jump ropes, but perhaps you make it into a loop. The first version of this pose we're working towards is with lots of support, with the knees down on the ground. In teacher training this weekend, we called it baby bird pose, because the pose itself is called baby bird pose. So this looks like coming into table, reaching one leg back, and swinging this heel behind you. So this is a way of finding supported side plank pose, similar to how we did here, just the bottom knee happens to be down on the ground. And now once this bottom knee is on the floor, you can breathe here the entire time, turning your chest and belly open to the sky and feeling a big opening through the chest. If you'd like to play with a little balance, perhaps you lift this back foot up off the floor just like you did in half moon. Perhaps you bend the knee just like you did in half moon and reach the hand back for the foot. Or you might find the strap around the foot this way. And now the actions I'd like for you to try are thigh forward, foot back into the strap to let that revolve your chest open to the ceiling. Yeah? Thinking not how the thigh can pull you off kilter, but how can you use the thigh to push it forward, kick your foot back so that you find the back bend in through the heart and chest. Okay, we'll try that once on each side, and then there'll be one more option before we come to lay down. So take a minute. Maybe you find a loop in your strap if you'd like to have it. Place it off to the right. Come into tabletop onto all fours. In your table, perhaps you have a blanket underneath your knees if you'd like some extra padding. And now walk your hands to come as wide as your mat. Take up space. As you bring your hands wide, let your pointer fingers, even thumbs, point straight ahead. Stretch the right leg back behind you like the calf stretch. Swing your left heel to the left like a kickstand, and now right hand to your right hip as you turn your whole right heel to the floor like warrior two. Before even lifting the leg, think shoulder blades together, and now slide the ears back to lift your chin. Stay here and breathe. Perhaps if you want to play with the balance, flex the right foot, lift the right foot up off the floor as if you could reach through the back wall behind you. Stay here. Or maybe you bend your right knee, kick your right tush with your right heel, and reach your right hand back for the pinky side edge of the foot or the strap. Think right thigh forward towards the brick wall. Kick your foot back and let that revolve your chest and belly open to the right, maybe even up to the sky. Breathe as much as you can. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now inhale to release, arm and leg long. Lower your hand and knee back to the floor. Take it back to tabletop. Huh? Okay, good. Let's do the other side. It goes from, actually, let's just do the other side. Let's go to the other side. So when you bring your hands as wide as your mat and let your thumbs point straight ahead or index fingers point forward, it alleviates pressure on the wrists is what we're looking for. But left leg, stretch it back, swing your right heel to the right. And as you turn your whole left heel to the floor, climb your left hand up onto your left hip. Push down and forward through the right hand and turn your chest open to the left. Stay right here and breathe. Ignore everything I say next and be here. Or perhaps you lift the left foot up off the floor as you straighten the knee and flex the foot. Think not left thigh behind you, but left toes in your peripheral vision. And then bend your left knee, kick your own tush with your heel, and reach the left hand around to hold the pinky side edge of the left foot. Think left thigh forward towards the long edge of your mat, but then kick your foot back into your hand and let that revolve your heart and chest open to the sky. A breath, stay for the exhale, and on an inhale, get long through your limbs as you find your way back to tabletop. Nice. A breath or two in table, a few rounds of breath in cat and cow, a moment to reset yourself with the fluency of your breath. So one more option, like I promised, and then we lie down. So that version with the bottom knee down, baby bird pose, will give you lots of stability. It'll let you be able to find and feel the broadness through the chest. I'll show you two variations that you can try. If that one felt steady and strong, and you'd like to try a different variation with the hand, you might have your strap, and similar to when we did cow face pose, you bend your elbow, and it's like you're giving yourself a pat on the back. Yeah, remember we did this one a while ago? The same action with the elbow. So instead of elbow, leg straight, elbow here, towards the ceiling. Okay, so that'll be stage one. You can explore that different shoulder variation. If you were like, I feel steady with my knee down, I want to see what it's like to be a bird on a windy tree branch. That's what this is going to look like. So for this one, it comes from down dog. You walk your feet an inch or two closer towards your wrists. And then heels pivot to one side, toes pivot to the other. For this variation, the bottom knee is lifted. You lift the leg up, bend the knee, find your strap around the foot. And then you bend your elbow, give yourself a pat on the back. Thigh forward, foot back, to then revolve your chest. Yee! Open to the sky. There might be a fling out. There might be, luckily the ground is very close. There might be, you look to the ground, you might step it back to make your way into wild thing. You might come down so much that you just land on the floor like this. And then you try the other side. But the idea is whether your back knee is down or whether it's lifted, it's the thigh. Thigh going forward, foot kicking back to back bend in the chest. The back thigh is the rudder of this pose. That's what we're looking for. So we'll try it out. You get to do everyone have something they want to work on? Knee down, maybe different shoulder variation, perhaps the same thing that you did a second ago, or the one with the legs straight. But let's all find our way to tabletop. Bring your strap to the right side of your mat in any variation that you're going. From your table, take a breath in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. For those that are moving into the version with the knee down, the right leg reaches back, swing your left heel to the left, and bring your right hand to your hip to open up to the long edge. For those going with the legs straight, from your down dog, walk your feet an inch or two closer towards your wrists, and now spin your heels to the left and all 10 toes to the right, and right hand to your right hip. So we're all opening up to the right. Now push through your legs, lift your hips higher. Perhaps lift the right foot up off the floor as you flex the foot and straighten the knee. Now bend your right knee, kick your tush with your heel. Maybe your right hand holds the foot, or you lasso the strap around your foot. As you bend your right elbow, give yourself a pat on the upper back. And now think thigh forward, foot back, to revolve your chest to the sky. A bird on the windiest tree branch, breathing. Nice. When you no longer want to do it, steadily release the arm and the leg. Nice, Caroline. Step it back to table or downward facing dog as you rest in symmetry for a moment. I know I say this in most classes, but it goes from, okay, my knee is down, I kind of know where I'm going, to my knee is up, what just happened? But the actions in the leg. Was that a question?
Yes. Are we looking for like side, like crescent shape or more like plank shape?
In the bottom half?
Yeah.
Crescent. Yeah, like half moon. Yeah. Last. Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for saying something. No, it's not heated yoga class. It is toasted marshmallow comfort. Definitely get it. No, please. Let's do the last side and lay down. So come to tabletop or downward facing dog. Take a breath or two. Oh, it's so much hotter back here. It's ice up there because the windows are there. I'm sorry. So from your down dog or table, for those who are in down dog, the left leg reaches back, swing your right heel to the right, left hand to your hip. For those in down dog, heels to the right, all 10 toes to the left as you bring your left hand to your hip. And now everyone lift your hips higher, slide the shoulders and ears back, and then maybe the left leg lifts up off the earth. Flex the foot, straighten the knee. Perhaps you bend your left knee and catch the foot with your left hand or the strap as you lasso the strap around your foot. Give yourself a pat on the back and now think thigh forward, kick the foot back and let that spin your chest open to the sky. Whee, yay! When you do not want to do it anymore, carefully, steadily look to the earth, hands to the ground, and take it back to tabletop. Breathe. Feel both feet on the ground. Feel your knees on the earth. And a breath or two in child's pose. If it's too cold here, I just want to air it out. I can open this. Do you want me to keep it closed? I got you. I was like, it's cooking back here. I don't know. I don't want to feel overheated. No, please, the heat. Yes. From your downward facing dog or from your tabletop, come to flip over onto your back, please, with your head up towards me, your feet to the wall behind you, as you come to lay fully on the earth. Have your therapy balls within a grabbable distance. Have your strap close by as well. We'll use all those things before we fully come down to rest. But once you're down on the ground, bend your knees, both feet on the floor, feet as wide as your mat, and let your hands rest on your belly or on your chest. Take a big breath into your palms. Open your mouth to let all of that breath go. Take another full breath in, let it fill you up completely, and exhale to offer all of that breath out. Now with those feet wide, knees wide, take a big breath in, and as you exhale, drop your knees to the right like windshield wipers on a car. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center, and exhale to drop your knees over to the left. Do that one more time from side to side. Inhale to bring the knees up through center. Exhale to drop your knees over to the right. On your inhale, bring the knees all the way up through the middle. And exhale to let the knees slowly drop to the left. Now on your inhale, as the knees come back up, give the right leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Make some circles in the right foot or ankle, spread or point the toes. And now some options. You might interlace your hands behind your right thigh, or if the strap is there, you might lasso the strap around the ball of your right foot. But give yourself enough slack on the strap, if you're using one, to let your elbows touch the ground on either side of you. As you straighten the right leg to the sky, shrug both shoulders to your ears, wiggle your shoulder blades towards each other, and let the back of your head soften to the ground. Take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Try to release the grip of your fingers around the strap. Let the upper back and shoulders soften to the earth. Begin to straighten the left leg long out in front of you. Dig your left heel, your left calf, and the back of your left thigh into the floor as you take a longer breath in and a steadier breath out. Now bring both edges of the strap into just your left hand. Bring your right palm to the top of your right thigh. As you press your right thigh away from your belly, shrug your left shoulder to the ear, squeeze the left shoulder blade to the spine, and 1 inch at a time, move the right leg to the left for a twist here on the earth. Heel to heel. Carolyn, you mind if Marcy gives you a little assist? Bring your right heel to her heel like this. This way. Yeah. And now step your left foot forward into a lunge. Cup your hands. Bring them to the ridge of the hip. Take a big breath in. Big exhale out and wrap down. Good. On your next inhale, you let her know you're going to release, and then you slowly release. On your next inhalation, draw the right leg back up through center, slip it out from the strap, lower the right foot to the ground, and give your left leg a hug in towards your belly or chest. Start with some circles in the left foot or ankle. Spread the toes, point the toes. Really listen for your breath. And now either interlace your hands behind your left thigh or find your strap to lasso around the ball or arch of that left foot. If your hands are behind the thigh or with a strap, begin to straighten your left leg up towards the ceiling. A deeper breath in. Stay for the exhale. Try to release the gripping of your fingers around the strap. Let the fists soften. Let the back of your head get heavy. And now straighten your right leg long out in front of you. Dig your right heel, your right calf, and the back of your right thigh down into the earth. Shrug your shoulders to the ears. Snuggle the shoulder blades together as you take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Both edges of the strap into just your right hand. Bring your left palm to the top of your left thigh. And as you give yourself a little pressure, press the left thigh away from your belly. And 1 inch at a time, begin to move the left foot over to the right. That's it. Nice, Mercy. Take a slow, steady breath in. Every exhale at the back of your head, soften to the earth. Now on your next inhale, draw that left leg back up through center. Slip it out from the strap. Give your knees a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. And notice what you feel after so much asymmetrical work from side to side. Maybe both feet are on the ground or knees in towards your belly, or your version of happy baby as your hands catch the backs of your thighs, your calves, your ankles, or the pinky edges of your feet. A deep breath in through the nose, and a long, steady breath out through your nose or mouth. Slowly release the hold of your legs down onto the earth. And a few options. I'll talk you through some therapy ball work in the upper back. But if for any reason you'd like to set up early for rest, I really invite you to do so. We'll meet you there momentarily. But if you are working with therapy balls in the upper back, you might keep them in their tote or take them out. But hold them in your hand and lift your head and your shoulders up off the ground to pop the therapy balls in between your shoulder blades onto either side of your spine. Think between the wings of your shoulder blades, the bones of your spine itself into the upper trapezius. And as you come to the top tips of your shoulders, your head might come down onto the floor. Or to alleviate pressure, perhaps you bring your head up onto a block. But as your arms fall anywhere they fall, take a deep breath in and open your mouth to let that breath go. Take another breath in through the nose, let it fill you up in each direction, and exhale all of the breath out. And just as in the feet, we'll find 2 more places here in the upper back. With your knees bent, feet on the ground, push through your legs to roll your body a few inches to the top of your mat so those therapy balls come down your back to the middle of the shoulder blades, still in the back of your heart, just slightly lower than before. Once you find this new place, with your head and tush heavy, take a full breath in and exhale out through parted lips to let all of that breath go. You can stay here for a few breaths or for one last place in the upper back with your knees bent, feet on the ground. Push through your legs to roll your body towards your head, until those therapy balls come down to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, slightly lower than before. Perhaps you stay here, or you reach your arms up towards the ceiling and give yourself a hug, as if your hands could reach for the therapy balls behind your back. Let the palms and fingers be soft. Let the back of your head be heavy. If you are giving yourself that embrace, you might switch which elbow is on top, just to see what a difference feels like. Take a full breath in and open your mouth to let that breath go. Unwrap your arms if they're wrapped, and we'll all make the exit journey out. A few ways to do it. You can scooch your hips towards your heels so you feel the therapy balls roll up your back. You might also roll over onto one side to push them fully out of the way. But however they exit, see if they can fully exit for the remainder of Shavasana. For sometimes, not always, they create more tension than softness. But as you release those therapy balls to the sides and drape your back onto the altar of the earth, take a breath or two into what you might not see with your eyes, but you can so clearly feel. I think we'll leave them on. And as you make your way into rest, give yourself a few moments to take anything it is that you need. Add any props to get as comfortable as you possibly can. You might have a rolled up blanket underneath your knees so your low back can really settle to the earth. You might drape the blanket over your body and being. Perhaps you add any layers or let your hair down or set those glasses safely off to the side. As you drape yourself onto the altar of the earth, let your eyes close or soften to once again listen for the sound of your breath. It's here in rest where the practice goes to dissolve, where the memory of your muscles begins to remember this breath-filled, spacious being that you are. So can you let each round of your breath dissolve the entire practice that was? Let each breath help you arrive to where you are now. And every breath that comes after makes a little more space for what has yet to come. So as every round of your breath lets you become heavier into the earth, the heavier your body becomes, the more spacious and lighter you may just begin to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to awaken the body that you're in and the very being that you are with any gentle movement that feels sweet to you. You might slowly roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against the earth. Just being mindful of those around you. Perhaps you reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your own chest. And when the time comes, we'll all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead, as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. A breath or two here against the ground. And as you press down into the floor, come up to rise to a tall seat facing the front of the room. Can you once again listen for your breath as you take a deep breath in, down, and wide, and exhale to offer the breath up and out. Our time together will finish with one more of those breaths. You can place your hands to center anywhere that feels for you. As you take a deep breath in, to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or gently lift your hands towards your head in such a simple yet sincere gesture of self-reverence, bowing to your heart and the hearts of each other who practiced right alongside with you. And I bow, Marcy and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you. Drink water, stay very warm, take good care of yourselves and each other. One more week of arm balances next week, and then we move on to March. One quick announcement that I do have is my teacher from India, Rupa Pai, is coming in on March 1st and 2nd. It's all virtual. It's from 12:30 to 2:30. And she has a few books that are downstairs. She's rewritten a lot of the yoga texts in the lens of young adults or children, which is just such a phenomenal way to learn, to apply them to your life. If you've never really grown up, I barely grew up learning them, even though they were always in my periphery. And I learned so much about her. So she is doing a virtual workshop that should be recorded, all about the Yoga Sutras, the tenets of how to live as a yogi or as beings in the world around us. So if you're free, we'd love to see you online from our personal homes, because I will be at home doing it, not in the yoga studio. And then Eric this Sunday is teaching a beautiful restorative yoga class, and it's on Sunday night. So if you would like to be tucked in before your week begins, it's a great place to be. Anyone else? Any announcements from you all? Any things that you want other people to know about? You should see, you should go to? Call your representatives, yes. There's so many listserv going around. I'm trying to trace and follow them, but if there are any that you recommend, would love to know. What else? February, slow month.